Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how I made fried coconut rice. We're going to be turning these ingredients from this to this, and I must tell you guys, it tastes absolutely delicious. It was my first time trying out this recipe, and I think you should too. If you want to find out how I got this made, stick around. So the first ingredient, and obviously the most important one, is the rice that you need to make the coconut rice. And then you need some onions and some mixed peppers. You need some unseasoned chicken thighs, and then you also need some lemon and pepper chicken thighs. I got this from Lidl. I was actually surprised to see it, so I just felt like I just might try it out. Next, you need some king size prawns and garlic butter and some scotched bonnet peppers. In Yoruba it's called Rodo, and they're very spicy. And then some desiccated coconuts to just give it that crisp and coconutty flavor. And you're going to be needing some coconut milk as well, also to give it the coconutty flavor. You will need a large foil roasting dish for the rice and coconut, and then you need some mixed veggies as well. The first thing I did was to wash my chicken, and I personally just like to take out all the hairs while washing the chicken, because sometimes when they pack these things they don't take out all the hairs during production. So yeah, that took a while. Coconut rice is something my mom used to make back home like a long time ago, and I just really missed the taste of it. I just thought to try it out. It's actually my first time making coconut rice since I've moved, and I just thought to make it in fried rice recipe. So yeah, it really turned out nice, and I was so excited about it. Now I'm done washing the chicken. You can see how it looks. I had to just pat it with some serviette to just make sure like it's dry and ready for seasoning. I needed some chicken broth, so I had to just cook 2 pieces of the chicken thighs just so I can get the broth that I needed, and then the rest I just put them in the oven after seasoning. The first thing I put was salt. Next I added some thyme. I added a generous amount, and then the next thing I added was some ground Cameroon pepper. It's actually very spicy, and I sometimes don't like to add too much because it sort of has an overwhelming taste. And then I added some garlic powder to the chicken. I just really like the taste of garlic in my chicken. The next seasoning I added was some basil. Then I added some ginger powder. Is it just me, or do garlic and ginger make any meat taste good, whether it's chicken or turkey or beef? I added some ground cayenne pepper next. I was just trying to make the chicken as spicy as possible. Cayenne is actually very spicy, so that's why I added that. And now I added some traditional chili powder. It's called atagigun in Yoruba land. I grew up in the west of Nigeria, so anyway, yeah, so I just needed that to be spicy. Paprika isn't spicy, but I added some just to give it that redness. They just like the color on the chicken. And then I added some curry as well. Next I added some black peppercorn seasoning. This one came with the grinder this way, so you just use the grinder and get it out of the bottle. And trust me when I say it makes every single thing taste good. I use it with my noodles. I use it to cook stir-fried spaghetti. It just makes everything taste good. And then the next seasoning I added was some Knorr chicken seasoning cubes. I don't think I can cook any Nigerian meals without adding some Knorr chicken seasoning cubes, because it just makes everything taste perfect, and it has that Nigerian feel to it. If you know, you know. I just don't know how to explain it. Once I was done adding the seasoning, I added some oil with this cooking spray. Yeah, this is an olive oil cooking spray. I just gave that a good spray, and then I added some more chili powder just because I wanted it to be extra spicy. I needed to add some scotched bonnet peppers to the mix, and so I put it in my vegetable chopper. So I don't use my hands to chop anything anymore. Like, I don't use knives and a chopping board to cut things like onion and pepper, even mixed peppers, because I have this. If you'd like to see the video where I unboxed this vegetable chopper and did a review, it's on my YouTube shorts and my TikTok as well. So after that I added some into the mix, and then I just gave that a very good stir. Sorry guys, I forgot to mention where I got the vegetable chopper from. I got it from Amazon, so you can get that too. I kind of felt like it wasn't just red enough, so I thought to add some smoked ground paprika. It just looks very similar to the ground paprika. But anyway, I just put some of that in and gave that a good stir again, just to make it look red, like red. And this is the finished look. Et voila! After that, I covered it up with some cling film and it was ready to go in the fridge. I had to leave it in the fridge for about an hour. Now, it's important that after marinating the chicken this way, you just leave it to sit for about an hour. Sometimes I'll do that overnight, like just put it in the fridge and leave it overnight, but then an hour is fine as well, just so all the seasoning can go in. The next thing I did was to chop up my onions using the vegetable chopper, which was so easy, so easy. Like this way, I avoid tears welling up in my eyes while chopping onions because I'm not about that life anymore. I personally believe that suffering is not for me. See, if you guys like to suffer, that is not me. Look how nicely chopped up the onions are. Better than my hands would ever do it. I had to chop up the second onion as well. And after that was nicely chopped up, I then added some to the chicken that I was boiling. As nice as the lemon and pepper seasoned chicken thighs were looking, I just felt like it just wasn't good enough for me. So I had to add some spices as well. You definitely know I would add some Knorr seasoning cubes because duh. It makes everything taste even better. So I added some of that. I think I added some pepper as well. I also added some curry, I added some thyme, I added some ginger powder, garlic powder as well, just a few other bits just to make it taste even better. The next thing I did was to spray some cooking oil with a cooking spray on lemon peppered chicken thighs, and I just mixed all that up with a spatula just so the whole thing sits in. Now I'm just going to be cutting up the lemon pepper chicken into small bits so I can just saute it. I think that's the word, yeah. So now the boiled chicken is done and it's time to take out my broth. Here I have the garlic butter and the king size prawns, and I'm just going to fry that with the garlic butter. It came out so well. Like, this is actually my first time trying this out, and first of all, the flavor, oh my gosh, it was so good. You know, I definitely had to add some more seasoning. I added some thyme and some garlic powder as well, just to, you know, enhance the garlic flavor. And then I poured in the king size prawns after putting them in some of the marinade from the lemon pepper. I let that fry for about 5 to 6 minutes, stirring occasionally. Yeah, and it really turned out so well. I was trying to just get it to a point where it wasn't going to be too dry and then it wasn't going to be, you know, raw. Now the king size prawns are done, but unfortunately they shrunk a bit, but then I just like the fact that it was properly done. And now it's time to start with the rice. The first thing I did was to pour a certain amount. I don't want to tell you how much rice to put because it just really depends on you. I just put some rice in a bowl. I washed that up pretty well to kind of like get rid of some of the starch before continuing. The essence of washing the rice is not just to get out starch, but just any dirt that is there. But like, this rice is basically clean, the one I get from Lidl. But like, if your rice has stones, please don't do this. You need to actually like wash properly, like using a sieve. Now here comes the tricky part. So I had to get this what's it called, this foil dish washed up, because that's where I was literally going to boil the rice or parboil the rice, whatever it is. So the thing is, I had to put the coconut milk in there with my broth and then literally like cook the rice in it in an oven. I had never ever tried this before, so like I was just really skeptical. Like, is this really gonna work? Is this not gonna work? But I'm like, okay, let's just see, let's try. Okay, let's just try. So this was literally just me experimenting things, and at the time I really didn't know what outcome to expect, but then I was just super excited with the whole process. And now I put that into a preheated oven. I didn't even really calculate the time, but I just know I just let it cook, for a while. And then at some point I added some water as well, just so it wasn't going to be too dry or wasn't going to get burned. So the broth wasn't enough, as you guys saw. So I had to just add some water to just, make the rice a bit softer before frying. Something I found oddly satisfying was watching the chicken release its juices into the oil. So I feel like I shouldn't have even added that much oil in the first place, because it already had oil. So yeah, that was just, it was just fun to watch and experience while cooking. I personally just feel like cooking is fun, and the whole process was just really fun for me. At this point, the rice is done, and I'm so glad that I didn't have to, boil in a pot and have it stick to the end, because of the coconut milk. So putting it in this roast foil dish was actually just a very good idea. And it was Tolu Bands who told me about it. You guys check out her channel as well. She's also a creator living in Calgary. So I placed some foil paper on the baking tray and then some parchment paper before I put the chicken, just to prevent the chicken from sticking to the baking tray. I then spaced the chicken out and then put it in the oven. So at this stage, I put some oil in the pan and poured some onion and Scotch bonnet pepper there, just so it kind of like builds the flavor before I pour in the rice. So now I put some ginger powder, some garlic powder, and some other seasoning, and then after that I started to fry the rice. Before frying the rice, I fried some mixed veggies. I just got this pack from Lidl, so like I didn't have to chop it up myself. And here I'm putting in some Knorr seasoning cubes, just so I build that flavor to the way I want before adding the rice and leaving it to fry. Now during this process, I had to keep stirring the rice. I had to just basically keep turning it over, because sometimes the base would be done and then the top is yet to cook. So you just have to keep stirring it to make sure that the whole rice fries. I added some curry as well to just, give it a bit of yellow look. I just felt like that would really enhance the look, and I was just all for building colors here. At this point, I'm adding some desiccated coconuts just to give it that flavor, and also just that feeling when you're eating coconut rice and you're actually tasting the coconut. Back home, what my mom used to do, she would grate the coconuts. After grating the coconuts, she'd squeeze out the juice from it, and then like the grated parts of the coconuts would be poured into the rice. So it gets more interesting. At this point, I poured in the king-size prawns, the fried king-size prawns, and the lemon pepper chicken, just to, you know, give it the rice some body. I'm just gonna put it that way. I put some onions as well. I just really like, you know, adding veggies, some protein as well, just so it's not like it's just all carbs, like all like rice. You know, there's other things that are making the, like, basically adding to the bulk, if that makes any sense. I also added some more seasoning. Just basically add seasoning and keep stirring. I chopped up some mixed peppers, the red, the green, and the yellow, because I just really love the colors. So I chopped them up and then I added them to the rice. I just have to say this, I really love onions. Like, I am an onion babe. My cousin always makes fun of me, but anyway, I love onions, so I added a lot of onions to the rice. But if you're really not like the type of person that likes a lot of onions, you don't have to, right? So the mixed peppers actually gives very good flavor, but I have to let you know, it kind of dries out really fast, so you might want to add it towards the end of your cooking, not at the beginning, because at that point, like, it's just going to the frying is just basically going to suck out all the juice and it's not going to be crunchy. I usually like some of my veggies to be crunchy. Now look how beautiful the rice is looking with all the colors. It's so pretty. And finally, we are done with the fried coconut rice. Look how beautiful it turned out. I also brought out the chicken from the oven and they tasted so divine. I don't even know how to explain, but you have to try this. While serving myself a plate, I had to pour some more desiccated coconut on the rice just to make the, you know, coconutty thing more vivid. And this is me tasting the food for the first time. Obviously, you know, I had to have some Malta Guinness with it. Oh my god, like, it tastes so good. Like, I had to like pause for a moment and just appreciate this art because it was so good. Like, look at me wiping out fake tears. It tasted so good, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, you guys really have to try this recipe and let me know what you think about it. The chicken, oh my god, the chicken was amazing. I don't know what it was, like the burst of flavors, the different spices, seasoning, everything was just spot on. I really enjoyed filming this and I hope that you enjoyed watching as well. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Thank you. Please let me know in the comment section if you're going to try this recipe and how it turned out. See you guys in my next video. Bye.